Happy Sunday, guys. Michelle here. It's been a minute since I've done a reading like this, so we're just going to let it flow on through and see what happens. As you can tell, I've been busy doing some stuff all over the place, but take a deep breath. I've already pulled the cards for the upcoming week, which starts today, May 2nd, 2021, and this energy reading goes all the way to May 8th. 2021. We're going to get it started with what the vibe for this week is going to be. The vibe for this week is going to be expect the best. Yep. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory, right? Always expect the best in a situation, expect the best of people. Normally, 9 times out of 10 when you do that, you get the best out of them. And that's what we like to see. So we're definitely going to be expecting the best. Now, when I went to pull the goddess energy card for the goddess energy that's going to be hovering around us this week, I actually got a confirmation. The confirmation is revelation. And what this revelation is it's a conscious raising card, right? And it tells us to be very mindful about the energies of Ishtar reversed. So Ishtar reversed, this week our senses are going to be pretty dulled, maybe even shut down. And, we're feeling like we're living without any passion for this week. It happens to the best of us. It's just our soul or spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, telling you maybe you need to go within and see what it is that really turns you on and makes you super duper excited. So the revelation of Ishtar reversed. Let me do something with this light. I look like I'm blending into the wall. So I still look like I'm blending into the wall. I guess that's, just my death pallor, whatever you want to call it. So then I also got some new oracle decks from Goddess Provisions. I get their subscription box every month. And I've gotten, at this point, 4 Goddess Provision decks. So the first one was Sacred Self-Care. And then Species by the Thousands. Then I got Isis, the Isis Oracle. And then I got Beyond Lemuria. I can't even talk, Oracle. So the next card that I drew was this Isis card. So this is actually the card of ancient power mysteries. And what this one is telling us is that we need to honor the power of our voices. A lot of us have blocked throat chakras, right? So when we honor our voices, we're acknowledging that they are very powerful. Our voices are powerful healers for ourselves, for others, for the world, for new puppies, which I have. But we also have to take responsibility for what we proclaim through our voices. So if you are talking shit about people, you need to take responsibility for talking shit about people. If you're saying good things about people, take responsibility for it. Take responsibility for your words. Don't just say something hateful, mean, cruel, or whatever and say, oh, I was only joking, because you weren't joking. If you were joking, you have a really, really bad sense of humor. So let's honor our voices. Let's understand that they are powerful healers, but we need to take responsibility for them. And that's from the goddess Isis, who is a primordial mother goddess, right? And I really love this deck. Holy crap. And then I went to Lemuria. Actually, I went to Beyond Lemuria. And look how beautiful that card is, right? This card is the seamless unspeakable. This is telling us that at some point in this week, we are going to be in an illuminated space that has no distractions and pure potential, right? You're going to have this brilliant idea. You'll be sitting in your office doing something or other like I'm doing, and then you'll just have this brilliant flash, and there won't be any distractions from it, and you'll be able to see it clearly. One of the other things that we need to be aware of is that it's in that space, right, where there's no distractions and unlimited potential. That's where our dreams come from. Not the dreams that we dream when we're asleep, but the dreams that we want for our lives. That's where that comes from. And it's also just a really, really short distance from what we call the void of creation, right? So the void of creation is a white space which is like this illuminated space that we're going to be in. And that's where the creation comes from. That's where our dreams for our life and our goals and our ambitions come from, that white void. So that is coming for a bunch of us, and it's going to be totally okay. You just take a deep breath, make yourself a lovely cup of tea, and then journal. Just, do some automatic writing where you're not editing as you go. You're just writing whatever comes through, right? Stream of consciousness writing is what it could also be called. So then from Lemuria, we go over to the 9 realms, and this involves Norse mythology, right? And this is a deck, the 9 realms deck that I got for Christmas from my husband. And so I'm still getting to know this deck. It's a lot more complicated than most other tarot decks, but that's cool because I like that. But the being Muk has come to us, and he's come to us from the world of the dark elves, right? So dark elves aren't necessarily a bad thing. What he does, he is the opposite of a nightmare. He is related to Sinmara, who is from the world of Helheim. And Sinmara brings us nightmares, but it's those nightmares where we feel paralyzed. We know we're dreaming, but there's nothing that we can do about it. So what Muk does is he comes and he lifts those nightmares off of you. He removes that fear and anxiety around that. He takes that heavy weight off of your mind, right? And uplifts your spirit and brings you courage to go after those goals. So, we started off here in this illuminated space, right? And we've got these goals. So Muk is bringing us the courage to go after these goals. And then those goals, a lot of times when we speak them, that's the power of our voices. That's the power of manifestation, what you speak into being, right? And it's those that's going to lead us out of this reverse Ishtar, right? Where we're feeling like we don't have any passion for life. Nothing is going our way. Everything is just horrible, right? So as Muk comes in, he's going to take away that fear, that anxiety, lift our spirits, give us the courage to go after our goals. Even if it's just, a tiny little goal for the week, say you want to drink 8 glasses of water a day for the next 7 days. For some people, that's pretty difficult, but if that's your goal, then Muk is here to help you achieve that, to give you that courage to just go after it. And then the deck that I use for my ancestor readings is the deck that I've had the longest. It's the Gilded Tarot, right? That's the back of it. Isn't that pretty? But the energy for this week is the 10 of Cups reversed, okay? This is not being happy stuck at home. At this point of the COVID pandemic, I don't know anybody who's happy being stuck at home. I'm very fortunate in that I have yoga classes that I get to go teach. And so I get to interact with people to whom I am not related. And that is wonderful. But this is also, there's going to be a conflict with loved ones and spouses. If you're hoping to get married, marriage is not in the cards right now. You just kind of need to work through some stuff. And again, it all comes back to, the seamless unspeakable, where we can manifest whatever, and Muk coming to remove the fear and the anxiety, right? So that comes out of that 10 of Cups. Just nobody's happy being stuck at home. So get out. Of course, take all the COVID precautions that you need to. Wednesday is my birthday. I hope to be able to go hiking maybe on my birthday. Which is something I haven't done, but I think once in the last year and a half. So get outside in nature, get out of your front yard. I've spent a lot of time in my yard. So get out of your front yard. You'll be fine. Next, we come to the message that our soul has for us for this week, right? So the energies that our soul is looking for this week is love, right? And the mantra for this is, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all others. So that brings us back to expect the best, right? So if you expect the best, you're going to see the good. Okay. It's that thing where what you focus on, you draw to yourself. So if you are concentrating more and more and more on all the negative crap that's going on, then you're going to attract more of that stuff to see. Whereas if you start expecting the best out of situations and people, even your dogs, expect the best out of your dogs, right? You're going to see that come true. The next one is my psychic tarot deck. And I use that when I really, really need to tap in, right? With my subconscious. I have about 13 decks that I use. We're going to have a card from each one. So just hang in there real quick. Okay. So from that one, we drew Harmony Reversed. And that brings us back here to this 10 of Cups, right? So Harmony Reversed has a whole lot of questions for us. Whole lot of shadow work going on with that one. I don't think I need to explain to you, harmony reversed is disharmony. But what this card is asking, and I wrote these down, what am I learning from this relationship? You see, there's two people there, right? If it were upright, and if the 10 of Cups was upright, I would say happy relationships across the board. Everybody's got strife. But ask yourself, what are you learning from this relationship? What qualities are you developing from this relationship? Is this partnership for my highest good? Can I make it stronger? Are we teaching each other? What have I discovered or am still discovering about myself through this particular partnership? Are the people in my life empowering and encouraging me to be all that I can? So you have this, right? And if you come through and you get the answers to these questions and people aren't encouraging you, they're not uplifting you, they're not supporting you, that's obviously going to lead to a very unhappy household, And the household isn't just your spouse and your kids. It can be, spouse and mom and dad and brothers and sisters and best friends and cousins and anybody that you have that kind of relationship with. There's a lot of disharmony going on because we're not feeling supported. We're not feeling uplifted or encouraged. We're just kind of being there and nobody's going, oh yeah, you can do this. And sometimes we need to have that kick in the butt. Now, my favorite deck, okay, is the Dreams of Gaia deck. And I use this pretty much all the time. And again, healing reversed. We have a lot of reversals in this deck, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't mean your world is going to come crashing to an end. It just means that there's going to be some difficulties. So this healing reversed, right? You got to let go of definitions and labels. You really, really do. You can't dwell in the past. You've got to let it go because you can't change it. You just absolutely can't change it. There is some sickness energy around this, some mental health and physical health energy. If this is you, go get treatment. Don't be afraid. There's no shame in it, right? Because you can't cure yourself. Okay. Here's the thing. You can't heal yourself with positive thinking. Okay. You just can't. You can't think yourself free of cancer. You can't think positively enough to cure diabetes. You can't think positively enough to fight off fibromyalgia. You just can't. So this card is telling us that positivity and prayers they can work miracles, but they're not going to work miracles if you put that bandage, which is what they are, over an infected wound. It's just not going to happen. You have to clean out that wound in order to get this healing card. So if you need some kind of treatment, you need to go see your doctor, you need to talk to your therapist. I'll be honest with you, I have a therapy appointment on my birthday. So there's no shame in it. Just go ahead. Let go of this belief that you can cure yourself. That's a big one. A lot of people want to think, well, if I just, my back hurts, and if I ignore it, it'll go away. Well, no, the hell it won't. It's not going to go away. Hate to be rude. And that brings us to my Mystic Mondays deck. Again, this is a new one. I got it for Christmas. And I'm getting familiar with it, and I like the symbolism. The first one that we have, though, is the King of Swords reversed. And this is a lack of clarity, a lack of decision, right? Like, there's something that you want to do, but you just can't make that decision. So in this case, you need to be really rational with your thoughts. Those of you who have seen my other tarot card readings or gotten tarot card readings from me know that I don't process emotions very well, but I am very good at being rational. At this point, you need to make a decision. Okay. You need to just look at your options, narrow them down to two, make the decision from those two, and then let the other one go away and just go full force. And that's a small step towards reaching those goals, right? Towards reaching this power of your voice, right? Honoring the power of your voice and getting to where you need to go. So again, this one is going to come in with Muck, who's just removing that fear and that hesitancy and that anxiety. So make your decision and then just take the steps. You know, you might need to make baby steps, but step into your personal power, right? Again, we've got personal power coming up all over the place. We've got those dreams and goals coming through. We've got Muck, who's releasing everything for us. The other card that came up in the Mystic Tarot was Temperance reversed. So, you know, this week the energy feels imbalanced, you know, and it's going to lead to anxiety and stress. And you just have to keep, you know, the anti-nightmare. Let's call Muck that, the anti-nightmare. You're going to have that anxiety and you're going to have that stress. The easiest way to deal with that, though, is prioritize and manage your activities. If there's stuff that you don't like to do, why are you doing it? Delegate it. Here's the thing. When you delegate, you don't micromanage, you know. When I was raising my children, they all had chores. Did I check to make sure that they were done? Yes. Did I micromanage them doing it? No. That's the easiest way to do it. Once you prioritize and start managing your activities, your expectations, you're going to start to feel some more joy. So this week, we've got to realize that we don't have to do everything ourselves. Start organizing those long-term goals that we just talked about and take baby steps. Put them in your calendar. Make meetings with yourself, you know. I have to do that. I'm very easily distracted. I have anxiety. That's why I have therapists. It's fun. This card is telling you that it's time to clear the muck out of your head, start scheduling things, start managing your life instead of letting life manage you. And then, of course, that brings us to our rune for the day. Now, interestingly enough, runes are both an ancient alphabet as well as mystical symbols. Okay. Our brains recognize symbols as something that we can use to focus on. And when you focus on something and everything else falls away, it becomes easier to accomplish things, believe me. So the rune energy for this week is Tiwaz, right? Tiwaz, however you want to pronounce it. This is telling us we need to examine our motives. And again, there's some heavy hitting questions with this one, right? So you need to ask yourself, are you concerned with self-conquest or are you trying to dominate somebody else? Ooh, right? Are you lusting after outcomes or are you just doing the task for the sake of doing the task? And where that comes from, if you're only focused on outcomes, then you try to rush to that outcome, right? You try to push the river instead of going with the flow. So just take it. Here we go, right? Managing our shit, prioritizing our stuff, getting together, healing ourselves, dealing with some disharmony and some disgruntled people, you know, ask for the support. Don't try to dominate somebody else. The only person in the world that you can control is yourself. And then, you know, from my Species by the Thousand deck, which is actually a deck of crystal energies. I don't own all of these crystals. If I did, I wouldn't have enough room to put them. But we're looking at Harlequin quartz, right? And that is for inspiration. This week can still be inspirational despite all of, you know, the reversals. We're in that bright white void of creativity. We're honoring the power of our voices to uplift ourselves and other people. We can overcome that disharmony in our relationships. We can heal ourselves as well. and expecting the best and seeing the good. This is a great reading so far. I've got chill bumps. And then finally, the last card I drew was from my sacred self-care. And everybody has rituals, whether you recognize it or not. You get up in the morning, you have a certain way that you move. So for me now, I get up in the morning, go to the ladies' room. I take the puppy Darby Lou outside. She does her business. I feed her breakfast while I'm making my coffee, and then I take her outside so she can do her business again. And then together we come up to my office and I do my morning routine. That's a ritual. Anything can be a ritual. The self-care card, though, the energy for this week is drink tea. And everybody's got a ritual for making tea. My ritual does not involve the microwave. I actually have a tea kettle. I will boil tea. This is one of my very favorite cups. It comes in 3 pieces. It has a ceramic strainer that sits in the top of it with a lid. Right now, I am drinking some wonderful tea. I will post the link for it down below. But this tea has like roseberries and hibiscus and cranberries. It's really, really good. But this card, right, the mantra is, I am inspired by the wisdom of the plants and the beauty of the ceremony. So if you normally just take a tea bag, throw it in a cup, put some water on it, throw it in the microwave, try slowing that down, right? If you have a tea kettle, boil your water, pour some tea, let it steep, enjoy the aromas, enjoy the steam coming up off of it, and then ask yourself how you feel when you drink it, right? When you drink with intention, when you take the time to enjoy it without distractions, and you focus on the flavors and the feelings that it brings up, how does it make you feel? And it's not just tea. It can be coffee. It can be flavored water. It can be soda. It can be a glass of milk. It can be any kind of beverage that might have a ritual around it, right? So that's all the energies we've got going on for this week. It's going to be a great creative week. We need to remember to slow down and enjoy our rituals, enjoy the flavors of our lives. We need to remember that we need to look for the best and expect the best and see the best. If you need to go to the doctor, get yourself to the doctor. We can send you all the thoughts and prayers you want, but if you don't go and get antibiotics for that wound, that bandage is not going to do you any good. Okay? That's the energies for this coming week. My books for tarot card readings for the month of May are now open. You can shoot me a message through my Patreon, or you can leave me a comment under here, and we will get you booked in, darling. So have a great week. I may drop in on my birthday to say hello. We never know. And I guess I will see you the next time we get together.